to bring in 3 or 4 of our students to come in and to meet you and to talk to you and maybe read one of their poems that they wrote or love. And from Performing Arts Studio West and the Meet the Biz program, we have Jode Garsha, we have Devon Morgan, we have, let's see who else we have coming in. There we go.
The old gang again. Hi, Devon.
Hey.
Hey.
And there's Joe.
Devon and I did scenes together in class. He was my acting
I
partner. Remember? I was so touched when he missed me. You know, when I started not being able to walk without pain, I just finally got back into the writing really heavy. And Devon was like, "Where you been?"
Right, right.
Yeah. And who else do we have?
Well, we have Jode Garsha there, and also Bahara.
Hi.
Hey, Joe.
Hi.
How's it going, Devon?
I'm
How's it
good.
going, guys?
Great, good to see everybody.
Yes.
You too.
Good to see.
Yeah, and I see only 3 people.
Well, we have 3 people now. We might have one other.
Oh.
I don't know. We'll find that out. But now each of you have brought a poem to read. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
I'm excited.
maybe we'll, ladies first. Bahara Savis.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. Welcome to Poetry for Actors.
And oh, Bahara, let me, if you could move your camera up just a little so we could see both of your eyes, that would be great. That would be great. Ah, yes, there we go. That's good.
My name is Bahara Savis.
Hello.
I'm gonna read my poem.
All righty. And again, why don't you raise the camera, because we're only seeing your lips a lot of the time.
Can you see me now?
Yes.
That's good there when you're back there. Beautiful. What are you reading today?
I'm reading about humans.
Okay.
Hey.
I would love to help people in need. Buy houses they can live in. Give them food to eat. Clean water to drink. Jobs to work. Yeah, I would love to help people in need.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
Wow, 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 wow.
You know what I liked about it too? I'm jumping in, Minerva, just for a second.
Well,
I know
I protect myself.
Yeah, you did it, and in a way, I only saw your lips. I didn't see your eyes, and in a way, it was an amazing kind of poetic thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes we try to change things. I've noticed this, whether it is, we think we have to do certain things a certain way, but things will come out in an artistic, powerful, magic way that is even stronger. So the way you did that piece and the way it was filmed in a way is even more powerful.
Well, I agree. I couldn't speak. I'm glad you did jump in. I just really wanted to take it all in, the voice, the emotion, and if you didn't get that message, I got the message. And these are the type of poets that we need to tell us the truth. Thank you.
Bahara, do you have a question for Minerva?
Yes, I have 2 questions.
Okay.
Do interviews make you nervous?
Yes, they do. And even this one, I'm at home, I'm around all my familiar, cozy things. And I still was walking around this morning and finding things. And you know, David was my acting teacher for many years. And I think one of the things he said was that that's natural, you know, and maybe if you're not nervous or anxious or just even, you know, it means you want to do a good job, you take your work seriously.
Mhm.
And it just was beautiful how it came off. And yes, I do. I mean, I've been doing this is over 50 years now, and I was nervous this morning.
Now, this is a question because somebody told me this. A friend of mine from years back said the feeling of nerve or nervous and the feeling of excitement is very similar.
I would say.
Yeah.
I would say. And you may want to come back to that poem after all of this or another class and add to it or change it. Or we have a way of saying that you may not ever be finished with a poem. Like sometimes I'll say, I'm not finished with this poem, I just abandoned it.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Now, I was tempted to change some things last night because they're 30 years old, probably. I don't know, but it's just, you know, you hear.
Yeah.
That's what I liked about hers. And to me, my most successful poems have been the ones I heard and here. They started here and here and here.
Mm.
Maybe not as much here, and you know.
Right.
And you have things to share that no one else knows or could know, or it's all you. So I would say go for it, run with it. We can do a show together one day and help each other with our nerves. And
I love it. I love it. Yeah, nervous and excitement. And if you sometimes you think of nervous as a negative thing, but excitement is a positive. So you could just say, okay, I'm not nervous, I'm excited. And then it changes your outlook of it. I mean, they're definitely two different things, but they're very similar also.
Yeah, I started to focus on the side effects, good side effect, like couple hours relief from my pain. I'm not thinking about pain right now.
Yeah, yeah. Devon, Morgan.
Yes.
What's up?
Hey.
Miss
Nice to see you. Nice to see you
guys.
again.
Yes, same here. Same here. Didn't you play in the Odd Couple? Didn't you do the Odd Couple at school? You played one of the two guys?
Yes.
Yeah, that was stellar. I remember that very well. Which one did you play? Felix or Oscar?
I think it was Felix. Who
I
played?
think it was Felix.
Who played? Was Matthew Selden your Oscar?
No, it was me as Brendan Montague.
Oh, right, Brendan. That was a great scene.
And that's an old scene.
It's classic.
Classic, back in the day scene.
So Devon, you brought a one of your favorite poems in.
Yes.
One you didn't write, but it's one of your favorite poems.
Yes. And it's actually based off of a song that I heard.
Do you sing or write music?
I think I sing.
I was going to say that would be a yes.
Yeah,
I think I heard you in the lunchroom. Don't even try it. Well, let's hear what you got. Who wrote it? You wrote it off of a song?
Yes. And this poem is called Stronger.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, here it goes. You feel out of breath, used up, and broken down. Just like a shattered glass and pieces on the ground. Some days you want to scream, but you can't make a sound. But you're not alone. Here comes another day. Here comes another fight. You'd rather give it up than give it one more try. Because no one understands the way you feel inside. But you're not alone. Right now, it feels like the end of the world. All your battles are lost. You've been cheated, mistreated. And just when you think that you can't hold on any longer, hold on a little bit longer. Trust me, you will see. You'll be so much stronger.
Amen.
Oh, wow.
Wow. You guys are so, jeez.
Wow.
My goodness. You know, after I meet with students or teach a class or something, I usually always say, I got to go back to school. I mean, this guy is rhyming, you know. And did you
What a-
memorize that, Devon? Or you read from paper?
I'm sorry?
Did you memorize that or read
Yes.
from paper? Yeah, I thought so.
Wow.
Wow.
Now, who wrote that?
It was actually by a woman. Her name is Jeanette McCurdy.
Is
And
she,
so what I did was I listened to her sung it,
Yeah.
and then I tried to recite it as if I'm actually speaking to her, to everyone else.
Jeez.
Wow.
Now that's creativity.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It really is. It's amazing how you could, you know, sometimes take a song and when you just read the words, it like brings whole new life to it.
Yes.
Sometimes you could hear it all your life and then you actually see the words and you go, you know, that's what it said. And then you love it even more.
Yep.
Devon, do you have a question for Minerva?
Yes. Minerva,
Yeah.
I understand you've been doing poets for over 50 years, am I correct?
Yes.
Have you thought of this as your passion? Like, is it something that you really want to do or something you consider?
Well, I started so young, it was like a natural thing, a natural progression. And when I say 50 years, I probably should say as a writer and as a working writer. Because
Okay.
one of my considerations or things I want to do with poets and for poets is to get a little more respect.
Mm.
You know, we're entertainers, we're actors. We should be in SAG.
Right.
So I would say 50 years as a working writer. The poet, it was there the whole time, I admit. But a lot of people do think poetry is a hobby, and I was on my own. So I had that dual consideration of passion and rent. my rent was my passion at times. But that's a very good question because there's a whole bunch of different ways to you know, like I've worked freelance since 1991. So I've had like 89,000 different bosses. So the neighbors and friends will ask me, well, how'd you get that job? Fashion blogging, or how'd you get that job? Reviewing articles for Anthropology Journal, or how'd you get that job? And it's every gig has a different route, you know, a different path. And I do anthropology because I earned a master's degree in it. And
Wow.
I didn't want to teach. I didn't want to teach.
Where did you earn it from?
My master's, I I did field work actually. I'm a cultural anthropologist. So I did field work. I did field work on cross-cultural communication and use of personal space between Italy and United States.
Well, that's and I remember you have been on the staff of National Geographic, so that connects with that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's always been, like, I have another degree in culture and communication.
Right.
So I found myself working at NPR and not NPR, NAB, the National Association of Broadcasters.
Right.
And so to me, education, creativity, poetry, writing, media, all of that is really one.
Mm.
The anthropology, I'm not sure how I really came to it because I always knew I didn't want to teach.
Mm.
And I did get into a PhD program at Penn, but I just said, let me take a couple enrichment courses because I don't want a doctorate. I don't need a doctorate. So my academic goals were a little bit different, maybe a lot different than my creative and career goals.
You
And
know
you
what
might find that too.
you know the word that just popped into my head is drive. I mean, you have this drive that's magical.
It's like a survival skill. I think that you guys contributed to because you guys are just the best examples of keep on trucking. No matter what, and there's room for everybody. Like a lot of the arts are so cutthroat.
Mm.
And over what? Poets don't make a lot of money, but if it's about money or ego or whatever, but there's room for everybody. I mean, Divine, you did something completely different than what the other classmate did or what I did.
Yeah.
There's room for everybody.
Jode Garsha, you have a poem that you wrote.
Yes, I wrote it. It was when the coronavirus first happened and everybody was at home.
Mm.
So I wrote this poem to first of all, it starts off negative, and then at the end of it, it has the big positive. So I'm gonna read you. It's called "In Isolation."
Oh, wow.
Isolated from the world, feeling like a prison, but it feels like a bubble popping out all my creative juices flowing through my body. Yes, we are stuck at home, but is that really a crime, or is that a blessing in disguise?
Oh, wow.
Spending time with family, eating some food, and enjoying your time. As long as you have that, then you can still stay hopeful. This time is not that bad. You just have to look in the square instead of looking out.
Nice.
Oh, beautiful.
Nice. I mean, so beautiful.
Wow.
Is that the first poem you ever wrote?
No, I wrote happiness and I wrote a couple other poems.
Over what period of time? Recently?
Uh,
The
so
other poems you mentioned, are they old?
I- I've I've been a part of Performing Arts Studio West for about a year and a half.
Okay.
And you take a poetry class from Pascal?
Yes, Pascal and Lindsay.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope you keep writing, especially now, because you really nailed it
Yeah.
about and this is what I've been saying before about how informative our struggles are for coping with other struggles. And you nailed it. And in fact, as I was
Thank you.
preparing for this, beautiful, and I mean it. As I prepared for this, I was seeing how many doctors are writing poetry now to cope with the stress of what they've been up against. And um, a lot of people are turning to poetry. And so I would like, David, you said we were going to follow up on this. I want to publish these 3 poems and circulate them somehow or something like that, especially now.
I think that would be wonderful. We could definitely publish. One of them's published already, correct? The song, but the other 2, that sounds amazing. What about you, Minerva? How about you read a poem, one of your poems for everybody?
Hey.
Well, it's funny, the magic of poetry. When the students were reading theirs, it was reminding me of mine.
What? Sorry to cut you off,
I know.
but I actually have a question for you.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that's right. We forgot. Sure.
My question is that okay? In my mind, when I write a poem, the first line and the last line are the hardest. Like because
Yeah.
see, because a poem is like a story, and so the first line everybody's gonna remember it, and the last line has to hit home like hard, like the
Right.
message
Yeah.
behind the poem. So how do you come up with the first line and the last line of a poem?
This is knocking me out because I was talking about this with a poet last night. We call her the Kwanzaa poet in San
Oh, okay.
Diego. She writes a lot about the Kwanzaa holiday and so forth. And that is a real challenge in general in writing maybe anything. You have to know when to get in and when to get out. And that's what I liked about your poem. You made your point, okay? Because people, and that's where my academic background helped me, attention spans and what people can deal with and so forth. And you and poetry needs to be concise. That's one of the things I'm struggling with screenwriting. Too many words. But I'm writing dialogue. How can there be, metaphors?
Yeah.
Well, I guess there could be metaphors in dialogue. But he nailed it. And so you were successful. And what you said about what you need to do for your first and last line, that was accurate. And not only accurate, but you accomplished that. So I'm very proud of you. And I think you should keep writing.
And then and then on top of what you said to Devon about about um about yeah, on top of what you said to Devon about how how we 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 need some source of hope to bring to people, and I feel like in poetry you can really bring so much hope and joy to people,
Yeah, it's true.
and and also like because every day is a new day, so if you go back and look at a poem and say I have to change this, I have to change that, but that just shows you how much we grow as people to to together and everything.
Oh, for sure. And you can get really deep into poetry. Poetry has rules and formulas, and it's a craft. you can get into the craft, you can get deep into the craft, and that's why I want to see poets get more respect, because this is still writing, it's still acting, and we know that's not easy. This is not easy.
Well, that's amazing too, that you want to get their pieces published. I mean, is it hard to get pieces published? How do you go about that? I mean, that's a gorgeous gift.
Well, it can be hard, but thanks to organizations like California Poets in the Schools, I mean, their whole mandate is poet teachers. It's a job, and a poet teacher is defined as someone who's published and has a track record in poetry and is now able to teach. I don't have a degree in poetry. I have a degree in communications and anthropology and so forth, English. But there are MFAs for poetry. You can get an MFA in poetry, or just keep writing. I mean, most of my stuff is not published because most of it maybe not even be typed. I'm finding all kind of stuff, and some of it's really lousy, from the 60s or something. But I also found articles I wrote about sports when very few women were writing about sports.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that job in like 69 or 70, and I was surprised to see that I would still publish those same articles without changing. I wish I could say that about all the poetry.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you have to let it go at a point too. Because how we were talking about, you can keep working on it and tweaking it, but you, all three of you, made your point. That's the whole thing, the message. So actually, I'd like to read something to you guys and question you to see if I made my point. Because everyone's talking about the social climate and racial injustice and so forth. And the San Diego Poetry and Arts website published a poem of mine. I'm not sure I ever read it. I think I did, though, when the poem came out. But I spent a lot of time, I was telling David, in medical settings when I started to have disability problems. Well, I ended up in a dermatologist. That's who I ended up writing about. But it seemed like every day I was in a doctor or PT or something. So I ended up writing Mole. It's just called Mole. I've made a mole. Gotta start edit. I've made a mountain out of your mole, the surgeon chuckled. No, I'm the one, the patient says, imagining all sorts of sharp blades, dull knives, and rusty hacksaws. But I wanted the mole removed while I had insurance. I figured on a burn, not a surgeon. I didn't get sleep. What is MDFACS anyway? It's there on your diploma. What is it, medical doctor? Federal agent for the College of Surgeons? Well, now comes the procedure and a review of my subcutaneous protoplasm. Also, an observation from the surgeon. Only 1 millimeter of my skin is black. The rest is white flesh. The mole had no race. Funny how God made us.
Ooh.
The end.
Powerful.
The end. Now, does that settle that we are all humanity, or what, And I mean, the surgeon really did tell me that. And so I did the poem, I typed it, I gave it to him, and he framed it and put it on his wall in his office. Yeah. So I wrote that poem because one of the things about, people are always talking about how uncomfortable discussing race is, and we don't want to hear it, or you only say it to other Black people. For me, this was a way to really talk about race and get down to the nitty gritty. And trust me, I saw that white flesh hanging out after he cut my bowl off, and so it's all kind of ways things come to you. I mean, I was seeing doctors for spinal surgery and holes in my spine and neck problems and nerve damage, and I end up writing about my mole.
Huh.
How do you, who go figure, right? And I think in part I did it because one reason I was nervous was the surgeon was like 100.
Oh my God. I know. Be careful where you wave that thing.